All right. Welcome back to another episode on Kaito Media. Now, on today's episode, we'll be diving a bit into Fear Street, Part 2, 1975. Now, why would I suggest watching Fear Street after a small brief? Well, good question. The first movie is like a multi-series. We cover the main cast and we kind of covered some of the basic, while now in the next episodes, we'll cover more in details without giving out too much spoilers on how well put together the film was. Now, without giving out too much spoilers again, we will get to a certain point of the movie where we do get set back in time.
Now, you might be asking, why is it so surprising that in the show you change the timeline? Well, it's kind of like any other horror movies, wouldn't you think? Like where they go back in time, but sometimes it doesn't even make sense because they'll go back in time, yet they have things that don't really make sense. Like in certain movies, I know they have like, oh, it's back in the days, but then they use modern technology and it's so confusing. But as well, they drag it out so long, and you're like, why drag it out so long? Or like movies that go back in time just are so dragged out or just don't make any sense, and they're like, it gets to a point where it's boring. And like some examples, well, not really examples, but like any other horror film, there are certain ones where one that I took not took in consideration, but to take a look, Terrifier. It's a good show. It's a good horror movie, but I mean, people soon enough start to get tired of it. Like, though it's supposed to be a gory show, but then you kind of get to a point where like it's too much gore, especially when you're going back in time, or it's like supposed to look much more like an older film, and then it doesn't add up, and it's just giving that vibe where it doesn't match up. What difference would it be between any other film, right? But how can it keep us motivated, or how can it keep us, wrapped?
Hi, welcome to the commercial break.
Well, you'd be surprised on how they went on capturing all of the emotion, mostly when most horror fans have high expectations in a horror movie. Just wait till you hear about the killers and how creative they got with the slashers in this movie. As we travel into another timeline, we go back into a couple decades. And personally, most horror films don't really give out the feeling or understanding as well the thrill of each moment. As we get to watch and expect all the good screams and all that, we get to see from the killers something more than just, oh, your typical killers. Fear Street captures the feeling, the moments where the main characters tend to just feel like unsettling when they have these encounters with the killers. While Part 2 does a great job explaining how the story connects with Part 1, you get to see how everybody takes this normal current event that plays out throughout the film, each feeling like they're in real time or you're in real time with them while you're watching it. Though I would highly suggest anyone watching over the age of 13 and up, mostly because you do get to see some things that you normally wouldn't be safe to watch if you were younger than that. Now, for our sponsor today, we have JCA Studios. Highly suggest checking them out. If you really like games, if you really like anime, they are really a great website and a great page to look at. They have so many things. They have water bottles. They also host events mostly every month where they show up at car meets, and they honestly have the best merchandise. And yeah, would highly check out their website at J_C_A Studios and check out, see, buy, find anything interesting. All right, now back to our series. As we continue the 1978 campgrounds, we get to see how each character is feeling up to the event. This event being Capture the Flag. as we approach the start of the story behind the Shadyside tragedy, we get to see how playing Capture the Flag captures the emotion each cast member shows while they're in this moment. Everybody's so calm, everybody's in their own world. And I love how they have this myth, the myth called the witch, where everybody just goes based off of this little small myth. But not many people pay too much attention to it. In the next episode, we'll get more into details on how this all unravels, but definitely would recommend giving this one a watch too, either starting with part 1 or part 2. Other than that, before we reach our main cast, we get to see how each part constantly changes, yet the town kind of lingers that feeling yet of more like suspicion that lingers around. You really won't notice it unless you pay too much attention to it, but again, we'll probably get into that into our next episode. Before I spoil more for what's next, I'll leave you guys all with this episode today and won't speak of too much details. Well, part 3, we will get a bit into our killers. Other than that, see you into our next episode. Thank you for watching Kaito Media.
Welcome back to DC Mythos. Today we will be talking about the Firestorm Matrix. Thanks to everyone who's connected to it, to its origins point. So let's get started. Everyone who's connected to the Matrix is Firehawk.
So you're past this already?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so go back to the Firestorm Matrix. There's a graphic of it.
Okay. The Firestorm Matrix. To everyone who's connected to it, to the powers it grants, and its origin point. Everyone who is connected to the Firestorm Matrix is Firehawk, Hawk 1 and 2, Ronnie Raymond, Martin Stein, Jason Rush, Mikhail Arkandin, Russia, and Madison Payne. And for the origins of the Firestorm Matrix, in the first issue it debuted in was Firestorm number 1. It's stated just to be a regular TNT explosion and a regular nuclear explosion. But in later continuities, it came to be this thing called the God particle, what was interacting with the two explosions. For Firestorm has multiple combinations given that it's a fusion of two people. So the powers that it grants you are flight, matter manipulation on a subatomic level, a psychic link, nuclear blast, electrical memory, and the basic boost to your stamina, speed, and durability, and strength. And so you can get a better idea of what I am talking about, I have a nice video package for you. So you guys get a better understanding of the Firestorm Matrix's abilities. I'm going to be putting examples on the screen here real quick. Like the time he was able to go through a wall because he made himself intangible. The time he helped make a sun during the Final Night event. The times he turned bullets into gas, then he turned them into a jack-in-the-box. Time when one of the Royal Flush gang threw their weapons, what were in the shape of a spade, he turned those into flowers. The time he messed with Mount Rushmore. He is known to make kryptonite and transmute kryptonite into other things. There was a time a robotic snake was trying to capture someone. He turned it into a rock hand, then barbed wire. There's a time where he captured someone and closed a rift. What's like, I didn't even know he could like open and close rifts. We got an example with Firehawk. Just turning the side of the road into an image of a clenched fist. There was the time where Martian Manhunter knocked him into a supercomputer there, but he just pointed his hand at it and it was fixed. He made a titanium box to entrap Orion, who's a new god, although it is stated that he could break out of it. So that's what I have for examples for you. Honestly, just do some more research. Type in like Firestorm powers and abilities, or Firehawk's powers and abilities, and you will get a lot of examples of the crazy stuff that people tapped into the Firestorm Matrix can do. So wasn't that a nice video? I hope that helped in understanding the ability of rearranging molecules and stuff on a subatomic level and making stuff on a subatomic level. Now, I would like to introduce you guys to the Cameron Boyce Foundation, which you don't know, it's a charity that helps out multiple people. If you have the finances to donate a little bit, it goes a long way. Or I even recommend at least checking out the website like I did earlier. So thank you for the producing team for helping make all this possible. Well, thank you, the viewer, for tuning in and, well, watching my content. I hope you have a good rest of your day.